Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Now I want to talk to you guys about a formation that I believe could be very, very successful for us. I believe we could run this formation to a T, and we could get what we're looking for out of any drive by implementing this package at least 2 times on a long drive. I mean, I just don't see with the personnel that we got, I don't see anybody being able to stop the Philadelphia Eagles in certain packages. Now, if you're new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. If you've been here for a while or whatever, you know I do these whiteboards. So we're going to get right into it. I want to talk to you about the 22 personnel. Let's get into it, man. It got names, man. It has many names. You got the 22 personnel is what it's most commonly known by, but then you also got the tank, and then you got the tank plus. We'll get into the tank plus a little bit later. But what the 22 personnel does, the 22 personnel is a very run heavy package. You often get your 2 running backs right here. Sometimes some teams split it up, have a running back and a fullback. You come with your 2 tight ends, and you got your 1 wide receiver right here. Obviously, you got Carson Wentz right here, and you got this amazing offensive line that we already got. Now, what the 22 personnel package does is it allows you to do a multitude of things. I think with our type personnel, it allows you to do a multitude of things. Now, in a perfect world, if I'm the offensive coordinator and I know I want to implement the 22 personnel, the tank package, I want to have Jordan Howard right here. If you're going to have another running back right here, I would have Miles Sanders right here, depending on how he pans out, especially in a pass type of situation, because you have so many weapons you could put right here in this wide receiver spot. You could go Alshon Jeffrey if you're close to the goal line, if you want some height. You can go Deshaun Jackson if you still want to be able to stretch the field. But the cream and crop of this play calling right here is what you're going to do with these tight ends. You can have them go up the seam. You can have these tight ends come across, run some shallow crosses. You can have so many things happen with this package. Also, you can have an additional blocker right here and Jordan Howard, and you can have Miles Sanders, who's more than a one-trick pony, go out. So it looks like a run-heavy package, but in essence, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 pass catchers and an additional blocker already with your offensive line out there, to pick up any blitzes. Because when people come out and they often see a 22 personnel package, they often have to start shifting and calling out. It confuses a lot of defenses. A lot of defenses get to shifting and calling out things because they think you're going to run, but you can also break out into a play action. You can break out into a pass. You can do a multitude of things right here. Now, if you come out in a tank plus package, a tank plus basically is just replacing one of these tight ends with an additional lineman. So if you come out in tank plus, it's a 90% chance you're going to run the ball. Now, the Eagles don't traditionally carry a fullback, or I don't really see many plays where the Eagles come out with 2 running backs. You know what I mean? I just don't really see it like that. So you can make some changes to this package. I know if you change your running back right here, it's no longer a 22 package. Actually, I have no idea what you would call it, but you could take that running back out of the equation right here, and then you could put another wide receiver right here in the mix. There's so many things you could do, and this is still semi-run heavy. But you want to stick to the 22 personnel, which I think is virtually unstoppable. So I feel like Mike Groh has his work cut out for him and trying to see what he's going to do with this package. Because think about it, man. If Deshaun Jackson is stretching the field, basically busting the cover 2, that's what he does. Your cover 2, you'll have your cornerback right here. You'll have your safety over there, both looking at Deshaun Jackson. Your cornerback is going to have to cheat. He's going to have to slide up because Deshaun Jackson has a lot of space to work with if you got Deshaun Jackson right there. And once the cornerback cheats on that side, then you can run something to that side with your tight end. It's a completion 9 times out of 10 with a cover 2, a traditional cover 2. You can also switch your wide receiver to this side and do the same thing depending on where you're at on the field and positioning it on the field. But this 22 personnel is really good if we decide to bring out another blocker right here. Now, I thought about having an extra tight end right here. Just for sweep purposes, if you wanted to run a sweep out of this package to the side that you have your running back on. You know what I mean? You can do so many things out of the 22 personnel. If this is Deshaun Jackson right here, you could run a jet sweep. You can run a jet sweep with your wide receiver coming around this side. Run some misdirection with your running back, have your wide receiver on this side. But the key with plays like that is you have to, and I repeat, man, you got to have some athletic offensive linemen, and we got that for the most part. But you can go a million ways with this, man. A million ways with this. I don't expect to see the 22 personnel ran that much, but I believe it's unstoppable. I believe it's something that we need to implement. Now, this is the facts of the matter, man. This is the nature of the beast, man. At the end of the day, let's be realistic about this. We're not expecting Jordan Howard to have 1,000 yards. We're not expecting Jordan Howard to have 1,000 yards. In fact, if I'm a betting man, I would bet that Jordan Howard is not going to get 1,000 yards because the way that our football team is designed, we're passing offense with a running back by committee. It's just not likely that you're going to get 1,000 yards and a lot of offenses like that. It's unlikely that the Saints are going to have 1,000-yard rusher. They might now that Mark Ingram is gone, but a lot of people just don't have 1,000-yard rushers like that. And find success deep in the postseason. It's very rare. I think Todd Gurley, he went over 1,000 yards, but they also had that running back who they could use just for strictly running, and he did split some carries with Todd Gurley, especially in the postseason. At the end of the day, what we have to do is we have to find what fits us. We already know our identity. They didn't get Carson Wentz these weapons for us to be a strictly running team. That's not the angle. We already see the angle. They wanted to stretch the field. That's why they got Deshaun Jackson. They also drafted another wide receiver in Arcega-Whiteside. We are planning on throwing the ball. We're planning on Carson Wentz showing everybody why he's Carson Wentz. That's the plan. But you also need that big body back when it gets cold out. You also need that bruiser. You know what I mean? So we are looking at having two faces as an offense. We're going to be able to shoot it out with you, and we're going to be able to run the clock out once we get up. You know what I mean? We're going to be able to milk the clock and suck some of these games away. We're going to be able to wear you down with the run game as well. So, we're not just a one-trick pony, man. Our identity is pretty cut and dry with me. I feel like that we know who we are as a football team. Our coach knows what he wants to do, and I'm starting to see a pattern of what he likes to do, have these big body backs who can wear you down at points in the game, and you can come out with your play action. I'm starting to see how the mind of this Super Bowl champion head coach is working, and I actually love it. But I do love the 22 personnel, and I think it's something that needs to be implemented. Let me know what you think in the comments, man.